Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel US Immigration News. We hope you are doing great. Well, in today's video, we will be talking about the Trump administration's plan to strip citizenship from thousands of Americans.
While the president-elect has not mentioned what his deportation priority list will be, Project 2025, which Trump distanced himself from authoring, but the similarity with his strategy is impossible to separate. He mentions a series of immigrant groups that would be in the sights of the Department of National Insurance, which they promised to redesign to return it to the correct mission and appropriate budget. Prioritizing border security and immigration enforcement, including detentions and deportations, is essential if we want to regain control of the border, repair the historic damage caused by the Biden administration, return to a legal and orderly immigration system, and protect the homeland from terrorism and threats to public safety, the document reads. EHS restructuring goals. Project 2025 recommends, among other measures, carrying out a mass deportation plan. Significant changes to the distribution of career staff across the department, including critical functions. All personnel with law enforcement capabilities should be immediately removed from their desk positions and sent to field positions to maximize enforcement capacity. Eliminating discretionary powers to grant visas or waivers. Rapidly removing all national security advisors appointed under the Biden administration. Streamline the delivery of notices to appear to increase and expedite deportations, but increase the capacity to detain foreigners nationwide, including in tents. Congress should increase the budget in line with the government's plan. Eliminate administrative closure of deportation cases. Increase entry restrictions at the border. Cancel Biden's humanitarian parole programs. Severely restrict asylum. Reinstate the zero-tolerance immigration policy on the border with Mexico, including the MPP. Maximize full use of ICE expedited removal authorities. Involve the intelligence community in deportation plans. Investigate those who benefited from Biden's immigration policy. Restrictions on legal immigration. On November 7th, 2 days after the election, Trump told NBC during a phone interview that border security with Mexico will be among his top priorities when he takes over the White House again, including his promise of mass deportations. When asked by journalist Kristen Welker about the cost of his plan, Trump defended himself. It's not a question of cost. We have no choice. Some people have killed and murdered, drug lords who have destroyed countries. And now they are going to go back to those countries because they are not staying here. It's not a question of cost. The president-elect credited his Navi 5 victory to his message on immigration as one of the reasons he beat his opponent, current Vice President Harris. They want to have borders and they like people to come, but they have to come with a love for the country. They have to come legally. Trump is not expected to make his priorities known before he takes over the White House again on January 20th, 2025. Favorable precedent for Trump. In May 2020, the Congressional Research Service published an analysis of Trump's use of Section 212F to exclude entry of aliens. It found that in recent months Trump had issued several proclamations that provide for the prohibition of exclusion of broad categories of aliens from the United States, and that a group of them impose entry restrictions in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Between January and March 2020, before the declaration of a public health emergency, the government suspended entry of foreigners who had been in mainland China, Iran, Ireland, or the United Kingdom within the previous 14 days. These measures did not apply to legal permanent residents, most immediate relatives of citizens and residents, and certain groups such as asylees and refugees. On April 23, he added, the administration ordered the suspension of entry of many foreigners with immigrant visas for 60 days to protect American workers from job competition during the economic recovery and to reduce the strain on the national health system due to the pandemic. The report noted that all immigration measures implemented by the administration were primarily based on Section 212F of the INA, a provision, it noted, that authorizes the president to suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens whose entry, he determines, would be detrimental to the interests of the United States. The report notes, however, that under previous administrations, presidents used Section 212F to impose entry restrictions only during a war such as World War I or II or a national emergency, as the Supreme Court has determined. Since 1952, the language on presidential exclusion authority has remained unchanged, the report notes. And it says that under Trump, invocation of Section 212F became frequent. But it notes that in its ruling in Trump v. In Hawaii, which restricted travel to Muslim countries, the Supreme Court rejected legal challenges by a vote of 5-4. The High Court ruled that the president did not exceed his authority under Section 212F, giving him a major victory to continue implementing his policy, a ruling that now, after winning the NA v. 5 election that allows him to return to the White House, sets an extremely favorable precedent. The ruling gave him extremely broad power to impose entry restrictions on foreigners, the Congressional Research Office report said at the time. Current fears. Juan José Gutiérrez, executive director of the organization Derechos Plenos de los Inmigrantes in Los Angeles, California, said there is a lot of anticipation about what is coming. That is what we are seeing in the city. People are calling our offices, all kinds of people. DACA beneficiaries, TPS beneficiaries, those who had requested parole in place, humanitarian parole, and immigrants who are in the asylum process. They all want to know what is going to happen to them. But there are no answers, adds Gutierrez. Nobody knows what is going to happen. There are rumors everywhere that they are going to be deported, that they are going to be arrested, prosecuted, and taken to detention centers who knows where. We are panicking. We tell them that it is too early to guess how Trump is going to proceed with his threat of mass arrests and deportations. The activist also said we are telling them that in this country it is not yet possible to decree a campaign of such magnitude since there are legal processes and they cannot break the legal framework. Due process is a barrier that will give us time to decide how we are going to have to live in this space that is being created under the new Trump administration. On the border between Texas and Mexico, the fears are similar. In the work we do here, providing legal services, there is terror, says Rogelio Núñez, executive director of the Freedom Project in Harlingen, south of the state. They are afraid. They ask what they should do. There is a lot of concern about not knowing what will happen after January 20th. And although no one knows yet, except for them, the Republicans, every day, 24 hours a day, we hear the threats of arrests, lockups, and mass deportations of immigrants. They feel that something is going to happen, says Núñez. For now, we recommend that they have their documents online, that they save money, that they still have 2 months to prepare, but that everything is going to change. The activist also says that the immigrant community must be prepared. It is better to be prepared, to have everything in order, to have a plan B, to have a phone number to call in case they are detained and that person can help them from outside the detention center. And they must know their rights, prepare their family. All of that is very important. But above all, they must know their rights in case of a raid by federal immigration agents. As the legal landscape continues to evolve, the future of Section 212F remains uncertain. Its potential reactivation could set the stage for a dramatic shift in immigration enforcement, placing unprecedented power in the hands of the executive branch. Whether such measures will be implemented depends on the political will, legal challenges, and broader public opinion, highlighting the deep divisions surrounding immigration in the United States. That is all for today, in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
The Trump administration has initiated an aggressive denaturalization effort to revoke US citizenship from many naturalized Americans, a move that has drawn criticism for its broad and often ambiguous targeting criteria. Traditionally, denaturalization was a result for extreme cases such as identifying former Nazis or war criminals who had lied about their past. However, under Trump, the criteria have expanded. Targeting individuals cover minor discrepancies unchanged allegations of or prior removal orders. This shift has instilled fear among naturalization cities who worry that past mistake on their application might now jeopardize their citizenship. The Department of Homeland Security has significantly increased referrals for denaturalization, forwarding 95 cases to the Department of Justice since 2017, with plan to review up to 7 lakh citizenship files by discarding prior legal safeguards. This initiative suggests that naturalized citizens face uncertain rights compared to native-born Americans. The Office of Immigration Litigation, General Litigation and Appeal Section manages these denaturalization cases, defending governmental actions and advising other departments like the Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, GLA. Also work closely with U.S. Attorney offices to ensure consistent immigration law enforcement and liaises with the DOJ Civil Division for potential Supreme Court cases. Trump has also proposed an executive order to add Birthright citizenship challenging the 14th Amendment, which grants citizenship to those born on a U.S. soil. Opponents argue that these move contradicts stabilized interpretations of the Constitution and would likely face extensive legal opposition, possibly reaching the Supreme Court. If enforced, the policy could reshape citizenship laws, including requiring proof of parents' immigration status, thus altering the citizenship eligibility for US-born children. This proposal has sparked debate, with critics warning of major legal battles and a potential shift in the US immigration norms.